and together we have the power to shape the course of history.
By being here, you guys are all taking a step, many of you your first, towards the never ending journey of change. Amidst the darkness, you are the light of hope. You are the spark of resilience that refuses to be put out. You are providing education and peace for our community. Violence shatters lives, tearing apart families and communities with devastating consequences. As a high school student, and I heard the list of names we're honoring, and some of them are around my age or even younger, I should not have to constantly enter a building where I'm supposed to learn and grow in a safe environment with the fear that even one person could make it dangerous. We must refuse to accept this as a status quo. We must refuse to let fear dictate our future. And we must also know that our fight doesn't end there. Violence does not affect everyone equally. Time and time again, we see that people of color bear the brunt of these situations, whether it's mass shootings or everyday acts of gun violence. Black and brown communities are disproportionately affected and robbed of their security simply due to their race. Through my experience with STAR, I can confidently say that we should address this in 3 steps. 1. Listen to their stories, hear the voices of marginalized groups, and decide action from there. 2. Educate. Make sure everyone in the community understands the magnitude and complexity of the injustice prevalent in our own neighborhoods. And third, taking back ownership of our community means confronting this injustice head on. It means demanding accountability from those in power and advocating for policies that prioritize the safety and well-being of our residents, regardless of their race. At the very least, we can provide support and resources to those who are most vulnerable and give those impacted by violence. By being here today, you guys are participating in all 3 of those steps. But to accomplish this, in my experience, I cannot go without saying the importance of fighting together. We are all intelligent, determined, and passionate, but that is not enough. We must come together to build a future where every person, regardless of their race or background, can live free from the fear of gun violence. It is only together we can create a community where every person feels valued, supported, and most importantly, safe. Together, we can reclaim ownership of our homes and our futures. We should never lose sight of the power we hold when we stand together as one, and know that our collective strength is greater than the power of any weapon of violence.
I'm really pleased to see everybody here today. And the crowd, despite the weather, it is not winter, it is actually spring. But despite that, all of you have shown up. You're showing up every day for multiple reasons. One, to help make us all safer and to take action. So thank you. One thing I talk a lot about is taking pride in the place that we call home. Whether it's the city of Reading or someplace else in Berks County, it's important to take pride in your hometown and to want to see things change for the better. If that's not your mindset, you'll never feel motivated to get out and get involved like you're all doing today by participating in this event. You have to demand better, and I'm speaking directly to all of us. You have to. You have to stand up and say, this isn't right. This isn't fair. This isn't the world that I wanted to inherit. And you also have to be willing to do the work. And that's what everybody's doing here today. It's no secret that just like every other community across the country, we're contending with our fair share of challenges. Gun violence is an issue, a lack of housing and homelessness are huge issues in our area, and something I've worked a lot on as a state senator is the lack of resources, mental health resources for our entire community, but particularly for our students. That's something that we really need to change, and I know Representative Cepeda Fuentes also has been advocating for this as well with me in Harrisburg. But the thing is, this is a message to everybody. You don't have to be an elected official to make change. You don't have to run to Harrisburg or Washington, D.C. Each and every one of us has the capacity to do something different and to learn how to advocate for what we care about. And advocacy is key. Anyone can be an effective advocate. You just need to start with the issue that you care about, build a coalition of friends, neighbors, anybody who shares your goals, and work together to advance your cause. And I know that all of us have the potential here to accomplish our goals. For the students that are here today, you've done well just by showing up, but you've done more than showing up, because listening to you speak, the very fact that you've been engaged in organizations that are helping to make a difference, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing, and you are making a difference here. And you know what? Lawmakers like me and the representative, we rely on you to help make that difference. We're counting on you. Whether you're voting age or not, you're still our constituents, and we still care about what you think and what you want to see happen in this world. And you deserve a say over what's happening in your backyard, in your community. I'm here to support everybody today, adults and youth, in the efforts that we need to make in order to make this a safer community for everybody. It can be done. It can be done. So many of you have proven by your efforts that we can make a positive difference and change things. Again, to Edna and her organization and all of the organizations that are here today that are talking about how we can make this a better community by ending violence. We all have that unique and common goal. Let's get to work.
You are the future. We need you. We need all hands on deck so that we can stop the violence, right? So that there is not one more on that list of names of young people that we continue to lose day in and day out, right? It takes all of us. I want to thank the parents, the moms who have lost their young ones. Enough is enough, not one more. Thank you also for sharing your stories, for using your pain for purpose, right? So that we can prevent more young people from losing their lives, right? So we can prevent parents from losing their children. So I urge you and I give you a challenge and a task, right? You have the ability, you have the responsibility to do your part. And it's not nothing major. It starts at home. It starts on your block. Because that's the only way we're going to stop this violence amongst our youth. This is a major health problem that affects thousands and thousands of our students, our parents, our schools, our communities, right? Not one more. So when you go back home, start building relationships with your neighbors. Start being the eyes and ears. You see something, you say something, and you do something, all right? So again, thank you for the opportunity. Yes, we're legislators. We have a role to play, but we do this together. This is our community, our home, and not one more. Can I hear you say that? Not one more.
It was great to see our community come together like we're doing right now, which is what we need for our community to come together, because we each hold a responsibility to ourselves, but also to our community. I would like everybody to turn to your neighbor and say, I am responsible for me and I am responsible for our community. It's very important that we keep that in mind, that we are responsible for ourselves, but we're also responsible for our surroundings and how we react to it.
Here stands a community who is no longer tired, but awake. This isn't for pictures or fame. Believe me, nothing about our pain is fake. We've spent too many years lying down. My passion is fierce like a lion now, and to say I always have been, I would be lying. Now is the time in which we must face our truth. If you didn't know how much this is affecting everyone, I hope today is your proof. Here stands a community who knows that the need to protect our kids reaches farther than Reading. It is heart-wrenching for us all to hear the news of bloodshedding. Here stands a community with mothers who pray their daughters can come home untouched by the horrors of this world. She sees just how quickly people would try to expunge our light. I bet everything I got that every parent here hopes that their babies would never have to go through this fight. Here stands a community with fathers who see just how much society will try to do everything they can to stunt a boy's growth so that they never become a man. It is hard to raise your son to get up on his own 2 feet when you yourself have never taken a stand. Here stands a community with kids like me whose childhoods were not embraced. They call us grown and fast, And what do you expect? We've learned early on in life that for most, life is not slow and steady, but a constant race. Half of this crowd has lost someone unexpectedly and are still learning how to cope. We are losing our own people to guns, to domestic violence, to suicides, to dope. How can you not be fast when you never know how much time is left? So forgive us for trying to cram 30 years of experience into 15, 16, 17 years of life. We deserve so much more than what we are given. We are so sick of just existing people. It is time to start living. Here stands a community of who has lost so much, but loves so much more. Violence in our community is as real as the flowers on the ground around us. Here stands a community that is ours. Together we stand, and alone that holds immense power. I was asked to write a poem here, to come and ignite your fire. Allow this march to be your match. We the people are your spark. Here stands a community together for peace, for hope, for change. Here stands a community who is no longer tired, but awake. Here stands a community who knows that there is so much more at stake.